Hi, is this Kunal?
Hi there.
Hi, is this
Can
Kunal?
you? Yes, it's Kunal.
Hi, Kunal. How are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm good, Kunal. Thank you. Okay, Kunal, where are you from?
I am from West Bengal.
Okay, all right.
May I know where you are from?
Well, I'm residing at Gurgaon.
Okay, great.
Hmm. All right. So, Kunal, let's just start with your introduction. Please
Mm,
briefly tell me something about you since this is our first session together. So,
mm.
and this is your probably 35th session. Okay. So, we'll come
35th
back to,
session, yes.
yeah, we'll come back to later. But, Kunal, yes, a brief introduction, please.
Uh, my name is Kunal. I'm from
Hmm.
West Bengal and I have
Hmm.
completed my graduation in computer science
Hmm.
engineering. And currently, I'm not working anywhere. I'm working in my family business. And I have started a YouTube channel as well. So
Okay.
that's what keeps me occupied.
All right. So, so mostly you spend time on YouTube. Is it? Is that the case?
No, yes, I spend some time on YouTube, but I don't spend majority of the time on YouTube.
Majority of the time. All
Like
right.
I am at,
Hmm.
there's no problem with my audio, is it?
Actually, there's a lag. There's no synchronization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm connected with my mobile data. That's why it might be happening.
Right. 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 Because I'm able to hear you after like 5 seconds. All right. Okay. Okay, Kunal. No problem. Yeah, so I was asking Kunal, this is your 35th session. So you've had around 30, 34 sessions. How's it
Mhm.
going, Kunal? Is it going good? Is it going smooth? Are you kind of improving? Or what was your aim behind joining? And do you think you
Mhm.
had a little bit improving in that?
Yeah, I have improved a lot, I will say. Like from my first session, I still remember before my first session,
Hmm.
I was very nervous because I'm an introvert.
Hmm.
But now I think that I have come out of my shell, as if it would be correct to say. Like I
Hmm.
have become a little bit more confident talking with strangers
Right.
and helped in my fluency,
Hmm.
because English is not something that you speak every day in your environment.
Okay.
And uh, I I have got many suggestions from various tutors, and it has helped me a lot.
All right, all right. So it looks that you are, talking good. Confidence is looking, really nice. You look very confident while you're talking. So that's a plus point, Kunal. The way you're speaking, that is also nice. That is also good. So far, I'm not able to find any mistake. Let's see. Let's continue and let's talk about the session document that we have for today, Kunal, and let's find out how good are you
Mhm.
with the
Sure.
English language. All right. Okay. So have you gone through it,
Great.
Kunal?
Great.
Have you gone through the
No, I have
document?
not been through. I have not been through the session.
All
I
right.
go through it sometimes, but today I didn't go through it.
No problem. No problem. Okay. So Kunal, I'll just be asking you questions. Very very simple
Hmm.
questions. You just have to whatever comes into your mind, you just have to answer them out, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So first question
Okay.
is the topic for today is generation gaps, Kunal, right? So the first
Hmm.
question is that
Yes.
what is the generation gap? What do you mean by generation gap?
Hmm. So the first thing that comes in my mind when I think of generation gap is the problems that I face, and sometimes those problems I cannot share it with my parents
Hmm,
or
hmm,
my
hmm,
relatives.
hmm,
So that
hmm.
would be an example of generation gap.
Uh-huh.
That would not be a definition of generation gap. That would be an example of generation gap.
Example.
If we
Huh.
come to the definition of generation
Hmm,
gap, it means that problems faced by different generations and how they solve it, and
hmm,
basically what is the thinking and the mentality of that generation in particular.
hmm, hmm, hmm. So you can basically say, in very simple words, you can say a gap between two generations, right? The
Yeah, yeah.
differences between two generations is
Mhm.
basically the generation gap.
Mhm.
And an example
Yes.
for it is which you just gave. that
Yes.
what your parents think sometimes, and you think differently, and all sort of those ideas.
And one thing is that
Yeah,
our generation is more open-minded compared to our parents' generation.
correct,
Like
correct.
we can take feedback more easily than our earlier generation.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
I feel personally that they are very rigid in taking feedback.
Correct.
They they can't take feedback very easily. I would say that.
Uh-huh. Huh. Right, right, right. Okay. All right. So, have you ever felt a generation gap with your parents or relatives? This is exactly the second question. And you kind of answered it, but I'd
Mm,
like you to answer it now.
yes,
That, yeah. Have you ever felt this
I've
generation gap kind of thing?
yes, I feel it a lot of times, but I cannot pinpoint any instance. Like I would not be able to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be able to describe it for with an example. But there is a generation gap.
There is definitely a generation gap.
Mm,
So, for example, if we say that professionally also, sometimes what happens is that kids, they want to pursue something, very
yes,
creative things these days we have, right? Which we
yes,
can pursue as a career. But if we tell that to our parents, they
mm,
sort of think that, no, 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 it's kind of a waste of time. You should just go to, unpick the professions which are safe, which
which
are,
have certain
certainty,
outcomes.
right?
Yes,
Which have certainty, which are safe to pursue, and you should, everyone is doing it, you also do it, right? Do you think that kind of
yes,
happens for professionally, career
yes. That
wise?
happens.
Hmm.
That happens with the older generation, like our
Older
previous
generation.
generation.
Hmm.
But I don't think my generation would. If my generation became
Hmm.
parents
Hmm.
or they were in the professional field, a
Hmm.
majority of the people uh,
Hmm.
uh, don't won't push their kids
Hmm.
to go through that path.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I think that's not the correct way as well. Like if you force someone to do something that he or she is not interested in,
Correct.
like
Hmm.
it will lead them to a very dark phase, I believe.
Hmm.
uh,
Right. Yes, somehow it's right. All right. And do you
mm,
think, is it even possible to overcome this gap between the two?
I think it's very difficult, but it's obviously possible, but it's very difficult.
Hmm.
It's
It's difficult.
so in one word it would be no, I would say. If I
Okay,
had
it's
to
difficult.
say yes.
So if and I'd say that if they are willing to understand, or they are willing to even invest a little bit of time into
Mm,
hearing what we have to say, then I think it is possible to
mm.
overcome that gap. But sometimes what happens is that they are, as you
Yes,
said,
it's
rigid. They're
possible to
rigid enough
over.
to, right, to even listen to
Yes,
what exactly have you got to say.
because today's problems that individuals are facing, they are not something everybody, it's not shareable, if
Hmm.
that's the correct word.
Mm-hmm.
It's not shareable to everybody.
Hmm.
You can share it with really close people like your friends with whom you're comfortable.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, problems are not those conventional problems that our previous generation had,
And in fact, parents are the
if that makes
closest.
any sense.
No, but I'm
No,
saying
but
I can share it with my close ones, like that parents are
okay.
the closest. No?
Yes, sometimes they are the closest, but there are some kind of problems which you can't share, I feel.
Huh. So can you talk to your parents about everything? What's the case with you?
Obviously, no. Obviously, no.
No. Uh-huh. So
Personally,
they,
I can't talk to them about everything. There are some problems which I can talk and some I can't. Can you
hmm, hmm.
talk with about any every problem with you have?
Well, yes. Yes, I can. I can talk to my father
Okay.
and mother both. It's not just, the one. I
Great.
can talk to both. Yeah. So
Okay.
okay.
Great.
And at which point in life does the generation gap seems to be the largest?
At which point in
Hmm.
life,
Hmm.
when we become we get into that working phase of life
Ah,
after college,
right.
or even during college,
Hmm.
the generations gap starts to come in picture.
Correct. Correct. When we become kind of adults, you can say this. So when we become
Yeah,
adults,
when we
there's
are
there's a
young
hmm,
adults.
hmm. then it becomes quite evident that yes, there
Yes.
is a generation gap in thinking, in working style, everything, every particular thing.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you think your life is easier or harder than your parents' life? Why?
I don't think anything is easier or harder. Everything, the problems are different for today, but I would not say that they are easier or harder.
Mm.
So I would say that like problems have changed. I would just say that that would
Mm.
be the correct way to put
Okay,
it.
so if I say this, let's not talk about you. Let's just talk about general thing, right? So, do you think today people are able to handle situation? Do you think today they are able to do it nicely, or our yeah, our parents' generation were they used to handle it nicely, or in a better way? I can say who handle it in a better way.
Mm.
Not you. I'm
Mm.
talking about. I'm just
I
talking. I
can't.
just want to know a general view.
Uh, I think in regards to the problems that we have today, like there is not, there are very few problems that don't have solutions today.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day of our parents' generation, there were not as many solutions as we have today.
Right.
So I think that the parents' generation, the older generation, were able to deal with uh, problems more easily than us. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I can't. I don't know the reason behind it, but I just feel it. I have a gut feeling that
Right.
because of so much accessibility and so much comfort, it's my personal opinion that I think our generation, like we are not
Mm.
very comfortable with facing problems or coming out of our comfort zone and things like
Ah,
that.
comfort zone. Right, right, right. All right. Okay, Kunal, perfect. Very nice answers, Kunal, you gave on all of these questions. Kunal, one question that what exactly are you doing to improve your English language? Is there anything that you are, apart from the Clapingo sessions that you're taking, apart from this, are you doing anything?
I have a notepad or in my phone I have a list where I put write vocab. Like I
Hmm.
put down words that I think I have it in my mind, but I can't use it in a conversation. So
Conversation,
I
okay.
just write it down. I write it down, write them down, and I just
Hmm.
try to use them.
Okay. And what else? Is there anything else that you do?
Nothing as such in particular. I like to write a lot of my thoughts
Hmm.
in my diary. So whenever I
Great.
whenever I find something very interesting, so I write it down.
Awesome. All right. So writing is a very good habit if you have that, Kunal. So Kunal, as far as I can see, I can while I was talking to you, I think I was not able to find anything in particular that I can point it out and tell you that Kunal, here you need to improve or you should do this that. See, a regular, like you said, for vocabulary, you're already working out. So vocabulary is
Mhm.
a thing where we can work on, right? We can definitely
Yes.
improve it. And for that, you are already working. So I don't have anything to say in that. You're already making a list or you are you are jotting down words. Trying to use them in the conversation is the main part. So that
Yes.
that kind of you have to do, and that's exactly your duty to do it, right? No one else can do anything in that. So whatever
Yes.
words you are using, try on Clapingo sessions, Kunal, make it a point that you use them, right? That's kind of your duty to do it, right? Use those
Mhm.
words once, twice, thrice. You use them,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
will be there in your head always. So that's kind of one of the way to improve vocabulary. Reading is the way to
Yes.
improve your vocabulary. Reading is definitely the best
Mhm.
source to improve vocabulary, right? So yeah, your confidence is perfect while you're talking. Your
I am
pace
not
of
into
talking,
reading that much.
you're not into reading, all right. So if even if you're not, I'm not asking that you read for 2 hours in a day. That's not. But what I'm saying is, just for the sake of vocabulary, Kunal,
Mhm.
uh, even if you are reading anything on the internet, maybe, right?
Mhm.
Lots and lots of content is available on internet these days, right? So if you
Mhm.
find whatever words you find, you already do it, right? You already jot them out and look for the meaning, and just what you have to do is using them in the conversation. That's it, right? So that's a way
Mhm.
of improving vocab. Your grammar is fine. Your confidence is good while you're
Mhm.
talking. Your pace of talking is good. The fluctuation in the voice is nice. So yes, Kunal, your sentences, you are able to frame them nicely, putting out nicely. So
Mhm.
there's no problem with that. Just this little thing. Just you have to keep this in mind that while I'm talking, I should use that word, and that's kind of your duty to do it, right? No
Mhm.
one else can do anything in that. So that is a particular thing that Kunal you can do. Otherwise, you're good to go. There's no problem, right, Kunal?
Great.
All
Great.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, Kunal. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye
Mhm.
and take care, Kunal.
Okay. Even you
All right.
take care.
Bye bye.